how to make friends and influence people.
Okay, we're just about ready to start. You may remove your masks as we get ourselves ready then for the MotoGP World Championship to continue with a pre-event press conference here for the BMW M Grand Prix of Styria at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. 6 riders on stage ahead of this Grand Prix. Of course, from France, the World Championship leader Fabio Quartararo riding the Petronas Yamaha SRT machine. World Championship leader after an 8th place finish here on Sunday. Alongside him, Italian Andrea Dovizioso riding for the Ducati team, 2nd overall now in the World Championship after his victory here 4 days ago. We have also on the front row from South Africa, Brad Binder riding the Red Bull KTM factory machine, 4th overall in the World Championship after a 4th place finish here on Sunday. And on the back row in the middle, Italian Valentino Rossi riding the Monster Energy Yamaha, 5th place here on Sunday and 5th overall in the championship. And either side of Valentino, to my left, we have Jack Miller from Australia riding the Pramac Ducati, 7th overall and 3rd here on Sunday. And to Valentino's left, Joan Mir from Spain riding the Suzuki X-Star machine, 9th overall after a 2nd place finish. As ever, I'll ask you a few questions. We'll go over to our friends and journalists on Zoom, and we'll finish with MotoGP Social. But Fabio, we will start with you. 8th place is not really where you want to be in terms of the World Championship, but there was so much drama on Sunday. You had some brake issues as well. When we eventually restarted after the massive crash at turn 3, you were 20th on the grid. So explain your feelings from that day and your expectations coming into the Grand Prix of Styria.
Yes, really frustrated race last Sunday, but like you say, was a strange Sunday after the big crash. The first thing is that everybody is safe, but you know, in the first race I went straight into the gravel. I had actually the front brake like a clutch, so that was not the best feeling. So we decided to change quite a lot of things from the front brake to try to improve. But on the second lap of the second race, I couldn't be behind someone, and even when I was alone, I was struggling too much to stop the bike, and actually we had problems on the pads from into the calipers. So yeah, that's happened, but really frustrated because our pace was quite good, not for the victory, but to fight into the top 5 was okay.
In terms of the World Championship itself, with Andrea winning here on Sunday, it looks like it's wide open. So many riders on so many different bikes are going to be challenging this year. Do you feel the same, or do you look at Andrea as the #1 contender to you at the moment?
Well, for me it's wide open, but we have again a second race here in Austria. Andrea is super fast here and in all the next tracks. So I think Andrea, of course, is I think one of the main contenders. But like you said, many manufacturers are there. Also, I think the top 5 was 4 manufacturers. So everybody is there, and I think is quite fun. So yeah, we will try to make our best this weekend. We had good pace last week, so we want to work to have even a little bit better to be fighting with the podium guys.
Fabio, thank you very much. I'll move on to Andrea Dovizioso now. Your 3rd win in Austria here 4 days ago, Andrea. 1 day after, of course, announcing you won't be riding for Ducati anymore. How strange have the emotions been? It doesn't perhaps feel like a normal win in MotoGP. How strange have these emotions been over the last few days?
Yes, it was very strange after the race, but more, I think, because there was the fans and my friends at the race, more than my future, because I'm really relaxed about that, especially about this season. I'm focused on that, so that is not the point.
In terms of going into this weekend, you mentioned last week that you thought that winning here 2 weeks on the trot would be very tough. Are you going to be trying new setups to find more speed, or are you reluctant to change a race-winning motorcycle?
Yes, for sure we will try something, because every time you make a race, you can understand a lot of things and more than the practice. It's normal for everybody. It's like that, and I think we show a really good speed in the race, but still I don't feel that good, especially in the middle of the corner on exit, and we have to try to be better, especially because we can bring that for the next tracks. I think also some competitors will be stronger this week because they couldn't make the result, so they will be angry. And like everybody, they can see a lot of things in the race. So for sure the weather decide the situation of everybody, and looks like it will be very hot tomorrow and Saturday, maybe Sunday no. But I think it will be a different weekend.
Andrea, thank you very much. We're now going to move over to KTM's Brad Binder. Brad, on Friday you said you were struggling to keep the bike on the circuit here at the Red Bull Ring, but gradually, as ever, you got to grips with things. Qualifying 17th on Saturday, but 4th place must feel like a podium after where you were at the end of Friday.
Yeah, geez, the Friday was a complete mess. I spent more time on the access roads than anything, I think. But, you know, I kind of expected it because every time I've come to a new circuit, it's been super tough just to find all the markers and try to stop the bike wheeling and just where to go and how to do it properly. But yeah, also the weather and not riding in some of the sessions really didn't help because it really made it difficult to make these steps forward. But yeah, Saturday wasn't really good and obviously qualified 17th. But Sunday morning I felt much better and made a small step compared to what I did in qualifying. And yeah, for the race I knew starting so back would be super tough. But after getting an alright start, I just tried to chip my way through and try to see what the other guys were doing. And I learned a lot in these two races. And yeah, to finish in 4th was a shock for sure. Because, you know, I think when I was in like 8th place or something like that, I didn't pass anyone again. So it was a strange race for sure. But the good thing is we really know now after this race where all the points are, what I need to improve, and I expect that I can do a better job from the beginning this time around.
Yeah, my next question was going to be, you're quite a fast learner, so you must have learned a great deal in the second part of that race. And how much of a head start is it for you to be able to now come to the circuit and not spend an entire day trying to work out where your braking points are, etc.?
Yeah, you know, I think the most important thing is that I can really use the laps wisely now. And when I'm on track, I have a good base to work from, and we can try and improve from there. Whereas, like last week, Friday, it was chaos. You know, if I ended up doing 10 clean laps in the whole day, that was it. So, yeah, it's always like that after a race for everyone, though. So I expect everyone's found something, seen where they need to improve to, and I'm looking forward to a good second race here in Austria.
Brad, thanks very much. Have a good weekend. We're now going to go to the back row and speak to Valentino Rossi. Valentino, no matter how many times we watch the big crash back at turn 3, I think we all breathed a big sigh of relief that nobody was seriously hurt. And yet you managed to come into pit lane and refocus immediately to get 5th. A great result, but how hard was it to refocus after such a big moment?
Was a very difficult moment, yes, because it was very scary. After the crash, fortunately, from the bike, I saw just the bike of Zarco flying over Maverick. But sincerely, I don't see the bike of Franco because it was too close and was too fast. We were very, very lucky because both bikes don't take us, and it was a difficult situation and very difficult restart. At the end there, maybe you don't have a lot of chance. So restart on the bike at the end is not so bad, but it was a difficult moment.
In terms of the actual result itself, how did you feel on the bike around Austria? Are the weaknesses with the Yamaha here just top speed, or are there other areas where you'd like to focus on this weekend?
For us here in this track is difficult. we have to suffer a bit. Our pace is not fantastic, or not for fight for the podium or for the victory. But in the second half of the race, I was not so bad, and I can stay constant, and I can keep a decent pace, and I take some points. But it's always the strange make another race in the same circuit. But we have a lot of data, so we need to start from a better point and try to improve, try to stay with the top group.
One more question I have for you and Dovi, actually, as the two most experienced men on stage at this moment. I don't know if you know, but on Sunday it will be the 900th Premier Class race since 1949. Valentino, you've raced in 346 of those. Andrea, you've raced in 219. How does it feel to have played such a large part as this milestone hits us here in Austria?
For sure, I'm proud of this. Like I said, in one side is very good, I'm very proud. On the other side, I am a little bit sad because I am very old. But it's very strange to say that I did all the MotoGP race from 2002. So it's a long way, but I think it's a good number.
Yes, this number is impressive, and it's a bit strange to hear that. But I mean, is the strange things is to, I mean, it's a lot of races. If I'm thinking about how many races, I never expect to make all that years and to be in this moment a rider contender.
Well, let's see if we're speaking to you both when number 1,000 comes up. We'll see in a fair few years as yet. We'll go over to Jack Miller now for the Pramac Ducati team. Jack, I'm sure it was quite relieving, actually, to find your way back to the podium the first of 2020. Do you feel like that's the sort of result you need now to kick you on for the rest of 2020?
Yeah, after the previous two Grand Prix with crashing out of a decent spot in Jerez and then just never really finding our feet in Checo, we needed that little shot in the arm. All weekend it seemed to be pretty good, and yeah, we were able to capitalise with it on Sunday. Despite the restart, despite having to change tyres and all that, you know, just tried to keep my level-headed and went and did my work. The bike was working really well here, so yeah, I can't fault it. And yeah, much of the same again this weekend, hopefully. All the other boys will be even faster again, so we're going to have to try and find a little bit extra.
With Andrea having won here 3 times, and of course Ducati have such a great record here in Austria, you must obviously get a chance to look at Dovi's data. Is there anything that you can learn from that to try and turn a P3 into a P1?
For sure, we're always looking at each other's data and whatnot, but he's definitely, you know, the man to beat around here at the minute. But to put it down to one particular thing, I don't know. We'll see what we can do this weekend.
Good luck, Jack. Thank you very much indeed. Lastly, we'll come to Joan Mir. Joan, a maiden podium, second place for you 4 days ago. It didn't seem like you got carried away with emotions and celebrations. So is that a sign perhaps that there's more to come?
I hope. Yeah, well, the truth is that last weekend we did a really good job. I think that, well, was the best weekend for me. Finally, we get a good result after, you know, searching always a good result, but for some reasons and bad luck, we couldn't get our result. And anyway, happy for this, and let's see if I can stay here a couple more time.
We can see already that Ducatis and KTM have a very, very fast bike. You spent a lot of time around them on Sunday. Where does the Suzuki compare? Because clearly Suzuki have brought a much faster and better bike to the party for 2020, but how were things speed-wise?
Yes, we have a good base, a competitive bike, but well, we lose a little bit in sector 1 and sector 2, and then sector 3 and 4 we recover a little bit of time. And yeah, I was behind the Ducatis a lot of laps. I was able to study a little bit our strong points, our weak points, and for sure there's good information for this race.
Okay, before we pass over to our friends and journalists on Zoom, just one small thing. It's not small, actually, it's quite big. The inaugural BMW M Grand Prix of Styria, I don't know if you guys know, but a unique and special prize will go to the winner here on Sunday. Whoever is victorious gets the keys to a brand new BMW M4 model year 2021. So, gentlemen, what are your thoughts on the fact that there's now a car on offer for the race winner here on Sunday?
Well, I will speak to Yamaha to have a few kilometers more on the straight to try to reach the front, but you know, it's always nice when you have a good car to win, so we don't need to be really focused on that, but it's always something extra.
Okay, guys, we'll pass over to our friends and journalists on Zoom now, and I'll be back for MotoGP Social soon.
Hi, gentlemen. This is Frank Weying from Eurosport Netherlands. I have a question for Valentino and Andrea. We all expect you to be here next year, both of you. But if you come back next year, do you expect to be here at exactly the same track, exactly the same layout? And if so, is that okay with you?
What do you think? Yes. First, I don't know if I will be here, but well, if you look, the turn 2 and 3 is normal, is a bit more dangerous than most of the track in our championship, because if something happens, you can go straight to the riders if they are there. So that is not the best, but it's a bit difficult to make every track in a perfect way for the safety, and to ride is even, I mean, it's nice to ride like that, but for sure it's not that safety. I think they did an important change about the safety for this weekend. They changed the wall, and it will be more safety.
Yes, allora, this track is a bit dangerous, especially because you have maybe 3-4 straight where you do 300 km/h, so the average speed is always very high. And the worst point is turn 2 and 3. That is a shame, because is a great point. I like a lot because it's very technical. It's a very hard braking from one side to the other, but can be very dangerous. So under one point of view, they extend the protection of the top. This is good for the safety. It's better because, for example, for the bike of Zarco, this protection is very important. But for the bike of Morbidelli, no, because the bike of Morbidelli was more or less on the asphalt. So maybe we need to change the layout, to modify the layout. But it's always difficult to modify the layout. It's not easy. And sincerely, I don't know in which way we can improve. So we will speak tomorrow in the Safety Commission, and we will see.
Hi, Paolo Ianieri, Gazzetta dello Sport. I have a question for Fabio, Valentino, and Andrea. There were a lot of complaints, it seems, also from the riders, the way the race direction, the stewards are behaving. I mean, 3 days before we knew if there was a discussion with Johan and Franco, and even Paul Espargaro and Oliveira about the crashes, and even the way, the inconsistency that there is often shown between the top riders, the riders who are fighting in the behind Moto3. What do you think about this?
Well, I don't really have an opinion about that, but it's true that from Jerez we make the yellow flag rules, but we saw sometimes some riders do, there is no problem, sometimes you do a little bit, you have problems, so I have not enough experience to talk about it, and yeah, but honestly I have not so much opinion about the stewards and the race direction.
Yes, I think to manage this, to have that job, I think is very, very difficult, and every time on the safety commission or every time you have two teams speaking about something happen, they have always opposite opinions. So I think it's very difficult to manage every situation with the riders. But for sure we have to try to be better. So in the safety commission normally we try to give our feedback to try to be better. It's very, very difficult. But I think one point where in my opinion we can be better is in the way there is the penalty when you go out of the track, because it's very, very difficult to manage that situation. They are doing a really great job because they are checking every time, every exit, if the rider is in or out, but I think the safety of the track improved a lot. Now there is a lot of asphalt and this is better, but I think everybody are pushing harder because you are able to go out of the track. And I think the penalty is too soft. I think everybody are braking so hard and everybody go a bit over the limit because they know there is the asphalt. If you make a mistake in most of the corners, there is the asphalt. So I think it's better in the future to put the penalty higher and don't be able to go out of the track. The out of the track is just for the safety, not to take more risk.
I think that first of all, like Andrea said, is a very difficult work, make the steward, because it's always delicate. But I think that first of all, they need to speak with the riders after the race. So it's difficult to understand why they wait 1 week. So for me, this is the first thing, to speak with the riders right after the race. And they have a lot of work because already from the Moto3, the situation is a lot of time very dangerous, a little bit out of control. Also Moto3, Moto2, Sunday we saw a lot of contact in the straight. You saw riders that go straight to the other riders also in the straight, and this is very, very dangerous. And at the end, they need to take their decision without any pressure from the outside or from other things, and they have to speak mainly about the safety of all the riders. That is the most important things, and be strictly.
Carlos Perez from the Zone. A question for Andrea and Valentino. In the last races, we've seen a lot of touch incidents in MotoGP. I would to know which is your opinion. Is it about the quality of the bikes, of the competition? Is because the young riders coming from Moto2? Is because of the circuits and turns like turn 3? What is your opinion about that? More aggressive on the way of race.
But, like I said before, I think the bikes improved, everything always improved, so everybody put more intensity, so this is normal. Every riders are a bit more aggressive, but I believe, like I explained before, everybody are taking more risk because you can make a mistake, because there isn't the gravel. If you go out, there is the asphalt. If there is a gravel, every time you make a mistake, you brake a bit early every time, and sometimes you can really take a risk, and that I think affect a lot everything, the practice and the race, Moto3, Moto2 and MotoGP.
Yes, I agree, and also I think that the competition is very, very tight, because also in MotoGP you have more than 12 riders in half a second, and in the last years, for sure, the young riders coming from the small category are more aggressive, so is coming also a little bit more. You know, I don't know why, and for sure that the tracks are more safe, because you have asphalt over the curb. Also, these make difference.
Hi there, it's Jonathan here from CNN. It's a question for Valentino, and sorry to dwell on the track, but there was footage circulated quite widely on social media of the 2002 Austria Formula One Grand Prix, which showed an almost identical accident. Firstly, I wondered if you'd seen that and what you thought of it, and secondly, given that was 18 years ago, I wonder how much faith you have in the prospect of the track being altered to prevent that kind of thing happening again.
Yes, I saw that crash in Formula One. I saw already before our incident, and the end is exactly the same. For sure, when you have a small hairpin that you exit in the opposite way, and especially you arrive very fast from the braking, this is very dangerous. The problem is that for me, when you modify the layout of the track, it's never easy, and you need to make a big job. So try to modify really the layout of the turn 2 and 3 in another way. So it's not impossible, but for sure we need to push a lot, because it costs a lot of money for the track, for the organizer.
Hi guys, Lewis Duncan from Autosport. I have a question for Valentino and for Fabio. Obviously last Sunday we saw the replay of the crash, of the MotoGP crash and the Moto2 crash quite a lot. And it's obviously been played a lot on social media. Do you think that needs to be changed, how replays of quite big accidents like that are shown, you know, particularly for you guys who were exposed to that crash, you know, and when you were sat in the box? Do you think that needs to be altered now?
I don't understand really well the question. Is about to film the accident when he was on the box?
Yeah, it's to sort of, you know, to not broadcast those crashes so much when we don't really know how the riders are, and obviously for you guys as well, for sort of a peace of mind.
Honestly, as soon as we had the red flag, and not only for this race, but every time there is a red flag, I've never watched the TV, you know, because you always look a bad crash. Even when I watch Moto2, it's better to don't look. So I think it's something that is better to don't see, like a rider maybe at the end of the race when everything is finished. But in this kind of moment, I think about, for example, Valentino that saw the bike coming super fast in the TV. For sure, you're going out of the, let's say, in the second race in a different way. So I think I would prefer to, I think for everybody it's better to don't see the crash when there is this kind of big problem.
For me, yeah, you don't have to exaggerate to show the images a lot of time. But for me, it's good to know what's happened, and it's good to see the images, because anyway, first of all, you can keep more attention in the future. But for me, it's good to see the reality, because anyway, we don't have to forget that motorsport is dangerous, and also the riders on the track have to race aggressively, but with the head, because it's something that can happen. social media.
Sí, yo voy. A question for Dodi, Nadia Tronchoni from El País. 1 week later, after analyzing everything, was last week victory a proof of you're improving, or this is the track where you can easily get that kind of result?
I think both, because like I said before the weekend, we studied a lot, and we understood a lot of things. When we went to the track, we were able to put what we thought on my style, on my riding style, and everything worked immediately. For sure, the track helped, because when the bike worked well for the track, and also my style worked well for the track, everything is a bit easier from the beginning. But in the way I was able to, I mean, in Jerez and Brno, I was losing on the braking compared to the other Ducatis. This week I was gaining to all the other Ducatis, so this means we did a step. I think and I hope I can bring that in another tracks, but I don't think it's enough what we have now. I mean, in this track, yes, we can fight for the victory, but we have to be ready in Misano. So we have to be better in the corners, where still I'm struggling.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Bernardo Matias from Motorcycle Sports Portugal. So I have a question to Valentino Rossi. Good afternoon, Valentino. The last Sunday incident was one of the scariest of your career. Are you considering your future in 2021 after that incident?
Well, no. I mean, anyway, if I stop, I think that if I stop with MotoGP, anyway, I will do something else that is dangerous, because I want to race with cars and make the 24 hours, and so anyway, it's dangerous. So, or I retire in my home and I stay in my farm with the horses, or on my bed. But anyway, if you are a rider or a driver, it's a risk. So no, I don't change my mind, and I want to continue next year.
Hi, it's Niki Kovac from Hungary. One question to Dovi and another one for Valentino. Dovi, last Sunday, Jack explained that actually he saw you raising your hand and clearly not seeing the red flag. When did you see the red flag the first time? Because on my calculation, it was 18 seconds after the crash that they put the red flag, or they interrupted the race. So for me, it's a bit strange that you couldn't see earlier. Was it because you were fighting?
I saw the red flag in turn 8. They see the red flag a bit later, but depends how focused you are on the track, and sometimes when you follow riders, it's a bit more difficult to see the red flag. I had just Paul in front of me, so for me it was easy to see the red flag.
Another question for Valentino, again with flags, because right after the Moto2 accident, they already put the double yellow flag and also the yellow-red one, so hazard on track, but still the riders didn't slow down. What do you teach your riders, how to react to these kind of flags?
For me, I think that the Moto2 incident, first of all, can happen everywhere, in a lot of other tracks. And it's very difficult to see the yellow flag for Ciarin, for example, where Bastianini crashed. Because he's already in acceleration, and the track comes up and after go down. And the bike of Bastianini was in the center of the track and was hide for me. So from the bike is really, really difficult to see the yellow flag. Maybe we can improve the system because a lot of time the runoff area are big, fortunately. So the guy with the yellow flag is far from the track. So maybe it's better to improve and to put the big display like Formula 1, for example, that you can put more close to the track. And I think that this can help to see the yellow flag earlier. I think we speak sometimes in the safety commission, and I hope that we can improve, because to see the guy with the yellow flag when you ride the motorcycle is not easy.
Yes, hi guys, Thomas Beaujard from Moto Journal in France. Question to Brad. Congratulations for your amazing season start, but you're not the only one in the family to do that. How proud are you to see your brother Daring making the show in Moto3?
Yeah, it's super cool to see my brother doing well. It's super scary to watch him race for me. You know, especially with him qualifying in 25th place many times outside the top 20, and in the first lap he's inside the top 10. So I don't know how he does it, but when I watch, I just pray that he takes him one at a time and no more. But yeah, well done to him. He's doing a great job, and I'm sure podium's just around the corner for him.
A question for Fabio. Who is going to win on Sunday's final Champions League between Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern de Munich? And also to Valentino about the Europa League final between your Inter and Sevilla. Thank you.
I hope Paris win. Honestly, it would be great to have the French team winning the Champions League, but the Bayern looks really strong, so we cross the finger for Paris, but looks like Bayern have something more.
We will follow the match Friday night, and for the Inter fans, we are very excited because we don't do final a lot of times. So I think that is a very balanced, very equal game, because the Sevilla is so strong, have a lot of some players that coming from the Italian Championship that we know. I think that we will be there, and we have to fight, but we hope we will see the match from my motorhome Friday night.
Hi guys, Neil Morrison here. I have two questions for Andrea Dovizioso. Dovi, we saw some photos of the first race from last weekend, and it looks like you lost one of your winglets. I'd like to know how that happened, and did it have a critical impact on how the bike behaved?
No, yes, it happened with Mir, because we were fighting at the beginning of the race, of the first race, on exit 5. I was too close of him. I was behind him, and at the beginning I thought I touched just the protection of the front brake. I didn't realize I was losing the right wingless, and I didn't feel anything, any strange things. Fortunately, there was a red flag, but I didn't feel any change.
Andrea, you were battling with Paul in both of the races last week. What's your impression of the KTM? I mean, are you surprised at how strong the bike is at this track?
Yes, they did a really important improvement. It's not easy in a MotoGP make that kind of step. But from outside, it's just a bit strange bike. Because they have a really different characteristic. They can accelerate very well the first part of the acceleration. I don't know why. It's very strange and different than all the other bikes. But it's also difficult to understand that bike, because Binder is riding like Moto2 and in this moment, and he's so fast and he's very strange. Paul is riding so aggressive, and sometimes he's so fast, sometimes like in the race he was losing speed lap by lap. Oliveira, most of the time, is really fast and is riding in a different way. So it's a bit difficult from outside to understand exactly the good and the bad point of the bike, but for sure they did a big step.
Okay, thank you to our journalists on Zoom. We finished with MotoGP Social, and this is how it works this week. We wanted to know what each rider's top 3 Google searches would be when your names are typed into Google. So, for example, if we typed into Google Fabio Quartararo, these are the top 3 most commonly asked questions. Guys, you're about to receive boards from Leah. Do not look at them. We'll reveal one by one, and we will obviously start with the World Championship leader. So these are the most commonly asked questions when your name is typed into Google. So, Fabio, we will start with you. As you can see, is Fabio Quartararo married?
I don't think so, but no.
You can lift your board, so you can read off yours. You can comment on. Dovi, not yet.
Still okay.
Not you.
Is Fabio Quartararo Italian? I'm French, but I have some origin from Italy, so I'm French. And how tall I am? 177.
177. Okay, thank you for that, Fabio. I'm going to go to Dovi next. So, Dovi, you can look at your board now.
How old is Andrea? Yeah, already 34, yes. What is Andrea Dovizioso known for?
What are you famous for? That one's pretty obvious.
What I'm famous for? Yeah.
And the final one is, how is Andrea Dovizioso?
What do you mean?
How are you?
How are you?
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I didn't write these, by the way. Okay, we're going to move. Thanks, Dovi. We're going to move on to Brad next. So, Brad.
How is Brad Binder doing? I'm doing quite okay, thank you. Is Brad Binder South African? Through and through, 100% South African boy. Who is Brad Binder's brother? My brother is Darren.
Thank you, Brad. Okay, we're going to move on to Juan now. So, Juan, you can reveal yours. For the purpose, if you read the questions out as well so that everyone else can hear, that'd be great.
How do you pronounce Joan Mir? I think it's quite easy, no? Joan Mir, normal. What is Joan Mir's Instagram? Yeah, this one is important. Joan Mir 36, and you will find, it's easy.
Nice plug.
And why is Joan Mir number 36? Because of my cousin rode in 125 World Championship in 2008 or 2007. And he stopped from racing, and I started, you know, so I took his number.
Okay, thank you very much, Juan. We're going to leave Jack till last, just for the fun. So we're going to go Valentino next. Thank you.
Allora, is Valentino Rossi the GOAT? But sincerely, I don't know. But anyway, I'm happy to be in the challenge. Poi, is Valentino Rossi a doctor? No, not really. It's just for fun, because my surname Rossi is very famous in Italy and have a lot of Dr. Rossi. Poi, what is Valentino Rossi net worth?
Yeah, how much money have you got?
How much money I take this year or in general?
In general, what is your net worth?
Now I don't remember very well, but it's a good number, yes.
Thank you, Valentino. And Jack, please reveal yours, and you can read those out.
Does Jack Miller speak Spanish? No. Probably should, but no. What number is Jack Miller? 43. What is Jack Miller's net worth? A lot less than his. A lot less.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. Have a good weekend here for the Styrian Grand Prix, sponsored by BMW. Can you all please now stand for the photos? Thank you.
Thank you.